Hey YouTube!
What's up? So today we are going to talk to you about gay sex.
We've never done that before.
So we have a little bit of experience with this subject now, and we want to share some of our thoughts.
And just some of the things that we've learned over the years having gay sex. Sex can be many things. It can be fun, it can be passionate,
It can be rewarding, it can be challenging.
it can be sad, it can be funny.
I think the key idea is that it doesn't have to be the same thing every time, and it can involve a lot of different emotions. Sex is often glamorized, and it doesn't always happen that way, so it's okay if it doesn't turn out exactly the way you think it's going to. We think it's important that during sex you be explorative and work toward goals.
There are certain aspects of gay sex that may seem scary at first, so just take little baby steps. If at one point there's something that you're not so keen on doing, you might change your mind and later on it might be something that you really enjoy. That's why goals are important. Communicate with your partner and set some goals for the long term so that you can work towards them. But don't be afraid to say no.
If you ever encounter something you're uncomfortable with, it's okay, just stop. Take it easy, you can always revisit it later. During sex, it's super important to go slow and be gentle. Remember that you are playing with another human being. It's not just like a sex toy, so you need to consider that they are made of flesh and bones, and you need to be slow. It's never gonna be a bad thing to take it easy.
Whereas going too rough and too hard can definitely cause some problems, especially in parts of the body that haven't had certain objects inserted to them in the past. Just take your time and eventually you'll get there.
Which leads to our next lesson. Make sure you use lots and lots of
Lube!
Lube is your friend during sex.
Let's be honest, lube is just like always your friend.
It's always your
When
friend.
do you not want lube?
I don't think I've ever had anyone complain about having too much lube, whereas I have definitely had people complain about not having enough lube.
Have I complained? Yes, I have. Another important lesson we've learned is that both partners, or all 3 or 4 or 5, how many of you there are, all need to be into it when you're gonna have sex. If one of you is really down, but the other is kind of like, meh, you're probably not gonna have a great time.
Which leads to communication. So if you're not into it, communicate that. And if you're the one proposing it, be receptive if they say, now's not a great time. On top of it being important for both you and your partner to be into it, you also have to be into it with your body and mind. If you're like really horny, but your mind's not in it, chances are you're also not gonna have a good time. So make sure you're all there and all present for your partner and for yourself.
Sex is very much a mental thing just as much as it is physical, so sex shouldn't be something to distract yourself from something else.
And you shouldn't be distracted while having sex.
You can't be like on your phone, like sexting someone else when you're having sex. That doesn't work.
Swiping.
Another thing we've learned is that inviting another person in the bedroom can be very rewarding, especially for a long-term relationship.
I think it's really important not to jump the gun on this one and make sure that you are in a long-term committed relationship with someone and that you both trust each other and trust the situation that you're going to enter into. If at any point you feel uncomfortable with the situation, let your partner know because things are only going to get downhill from there.
And don't enter into the relationship with the stipulation that you want to add more partners to the bedroom because you're just not going to set up a solid foundation for the future. If you just want, a hookup or a one-night stand, then that's great. But if you're looking for someone for a long-term relationship, that's probably not the best way to start.
In a relationship, sex slumps are normal. We've experienced them, other couples have experienced them, and while they are okay, you just need to make sure you're communicating about why that might be going on. Sometimes there's a deeper meaning and a deep-rooted issue that needs to be resolved before you can continue with that.
And a lot of times it's a personal, intrinsic thing, not necessarily have anything to do with your partner. If you're experiencing a sex slump and your partner isn't responding or reciprocating, make sure you talk to them and make sure that they're aware that you're there for them, you're here to listen, and figure out what's going on.
You keep hammering it in, but communication is seriously key with everything related to sex.
Another thing we've learned over the years is that sex is about physical intimacy, but that doesn't necessarily mean it's about penetration. I think there's a stigma about gay, male-on-male, anal sex, where the only way to lose your virginity or have real sex is to have penetrative sex, and that's definitely not true. You can have sex in a variety of ways, and you don't need to feel the pressure to have to penetrate in order to feel like you've accomplished something or completed some sort of goal.
Going off of that, sex means different things to different people. So find out what it means to you and what it means to your partner and make sure you're on the same page about it. Our community is kind of obsessed with labeling and talking about tops and bottoms and sides and all these different terms.
It's certainly fine to have a preference if you do, but don't feel like you need to identify as a top or a bottom or a side. You can do it all. And you can find partners who may just identify as one thing or the other, and maybe that'll work for you and maybe not. But that's the great thing about sex is that you can have it with lots of different kinds of people and people have different preferences.
Don't feel like you need to jump into any one of those categories. Feel it out, find what you're comfortable with, and go from there. Keep in mind, all this advice is coming from us and our personal experiences. These are not necessarily the right answers. This is just what we've learned along the way. If there's anything we missed, or if you have any key lessons about gay sex, let us know in the comment section below. We're always learning too, so we are very receptive to finding out more about how you engage in gay sex.
You said receptive.
Whatever.
If you like this video, give it a big thumbs up. And if you haven't yet, click that subscribe button. We'll be in your inbox every single week.
I'm Beep.
I'm Beep.
We are two Beeps.
Peacing out.
Beeps out.
Beeps out.
On the subject of gay sex, last week we did a Q&A video where we talked about who has the bigger eggplant. And no, we're not talking about vegetables.
So if you want to watch that video, click the link right here. It's pretty funny. We also answered a bunch of other questions too, so you learn a little bit more about us. That's always fun.
Make sure you catch Two Beeps every Saturday for your Saturday morning BPOs. We have changed time slots due to network demand.
Saturdays usually means that no one's watching.
Exactly, yeah. Thanks guys. We'll see you later.
Bye.
Bye.